Hey guys, today we are here with our board and trained golden retriever, Teddy. And today we are getting him desensitized to the slip lead and also teaching him the basics of a structured walk. One of our main goals with Teddy is to work through his high levels of hyperactivity.
He's looking at Bandit, he's looking at Bean, he's looking all out here, he wants to go, but we're not. This is how you guys should start the walk.
The first half of this video is also a prime example of why Daniel and I always prioritize conditioning a new dog to a slip lead and then also to the power loop as well. Something you'll notice throughout the first half of the video is that Teddy does not have a power loop on. The reason for this is because at this point we had only had him for all of 2 days, so we really wanted to focus on prioritizing desensitizing him to the slip lead and also just getting him used to pressure and release as a whole. So we didn't want to push it by adding in the power loop, but you will see later in the video that we do use it, and you'll notice that it makes a huge difference, especially when it comes to refocusing him and redirecting his attention back onto me. It is so important to make sure that you're always trying to start your walk off on the best note. You want your dog in tune with you, you want your dog at your side, you don't want your dog to be all over the place and focused on anything and everything else besides you. The best way to achieve this goal is to always start with leash drills before even starting the walk, and prior to that you should be having your pup sit and wait calmly before putting the leash on them to even go outside. Right here I am looking to try and gain as much relevancy with Teddy as possible before beginning the walk. What I'm looking for is for him to stop when I stop, for him to look up at me and check in with me, and to have a loose leash when I stop. If he hits the end of the leash, then we turn around and we change directions and we try again, and we continue and do this until I get the reaction that I'm looking for. As you can see here, I am definitely starting to gain some relevancy with Teddy. The issue then becomes once we make it past the gate, all bets are off. Teddy wants to smell, he wants to look, he wants to move, he wants to groove. So it's important that I don't give in to what he wants to do, and I continue to try and gain relevancy with him by doing the drills back and forth. As you can see, I have to give him constant reminders to not smell the ground, to not go in front of me, to stay by my side, and it becomes quite the battle. Once we make it out to the driveway, I then continue to try and do some leash drills with him just to try and refocus him back to me. But as you can tell, it is quite the struggle between the both of us, as Teddy is quite the stubborn guy, and when he wants to smell something or he wants to go to something, for as long as he's ever known, he's been able to do that, whether that be by pulling or by reacting or whatever it may be. So right here, what we're trying to do is recondition that thought process so that he understands that I make the final decision of when and where we're gonna go, not him. Slowly but surely, I am starting to make some progress with Teddy. He is starting to check in with me. The leash is able to be a lot more loose, and I'm having to give him a lot less reminders to check in with me, to not smell things, to stay by my side. And if you are sitting there thinking that we are spending a lot of time on these drills, you would absolutely be right. In total, I think this entire walk took all of 2 hours, and we made it not even down an entire street.
Now Annie feels like we can start the walk. So now she's going.
And that was quite cute. That was so quickly.
And this is literally what we do, guys. But he's not even trying to pull away from her, if you notice.
Yeah, he just really wants to smell.
That's his problem. And like yesterday, he was trying to pull from her. Trying to pull, get to everything, get to the grass.
Before we even did this, we did some leash drills in our yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he can't focus in the yard, how is he going to focus with all the new smells?
Exactly. So start small, guys. Start in your backyard, start in your driveway, in your house. You see, doing leash drills still. This is what it takes. It's boring. It's long. It's probably what?
Never had this.
Yeah. It's down. It's boring. It's long. It's probably annoying. But this is what you gotta do. We got some people on bikes coming up.
Right here is where it all went wrong, okay? We had finally gone out into the street. We were finally making some progress with the leash drills, and then people on bikes came by, children came by, a stroller came by, I believe a car even passed through, and Teddy just went nuts. He started barking, he started pulling, he started lunging. As you can tell, it can be very hard to regain their focus when they are so fixated on whatever that trigger may be.
Stay. Look at that. Annie's not taking him away from the distraction. She's not even trying to block him. She's trying to guide him in the direction she wants him to go. He wants to get to all these people.
If your dog has big feelings like Teddy does, and most dogs who deal with reactivity do, don't feel embarrassed of that, and also remember that it's so important to work them through it, not just to take them out of that situation, but to show them how to cope with those feelings, how to cope with those emotions in a healthy way. And always try to have patience with your dog. Extend your pup some grace as they're doing their very best as well. Yes, it may be frustrating to have to do drills over and over or to have to restart from the beginning, but at the end of the day, it's going to benefit your pup in the long run so much more than if we were to avoid it or to sweep these problems under the rug. It's so much more beneficial to face these type of problems head on. Once Teddy is no longer reacting to the triggers and they have passed and he is now back in tune with me, we then are able to head back out onto the street again. And even though we just went down this one street, Teddy was absolutely dead at the end of this walk. The reason being that even though it wasn't physically exerting, it was mentally exerting. I asked things of him and held expectations for him that had never been held or asked of him before. So he had to really think and focus to get through this walk and to deal with the triggers and to work through those emotions. And he did an amazing job. These next clips are of a walk on a different day after Teddy has been fully conditioned and desensitized to the power loop. And when I say that the power loop makes all of the difference, especially in leash reactive, frustrated dogs, it makes such a huge difference. We were able to go on a full walk throughout our entire neighborhood without having to turn around, without having to stop. He was able to see a baby in a stroller. He was able to watch cars go by. The power loop just flips a switch for so many dogs. I mean, just look at him. You would not believe that that is the same dog from the previous clips before. This man is focused. He is looking at me. He is turning with me. I have a completely loose leash almost the entire time. It is absolutely amazing to see the progress that Teddy had made just by introducing the power loop as a tool that we could utilize for him on walks. Something you'll notice in this clip is that I will randomly stop and wait to see what Teddy does. If Teddy stops with me, we continue. If Teddy continues to go and he hits the end of the leash, then we turn around. Although the power loop does help tremendously, it does not solve all issues. You do still have to put in the work to make sure that your dog is staying in tune with you, staying with you, checking in with you, stopping when you stop, sitting if you ask them to, so on and so forth.
Look at that. Hey. Look at that. All these cars. Yeah, for real. Look at that loose leash.
Thanks for tuning in. Check us out for more.